I never thought a casual bet with my cousin could turn my world upside down. My name is Ryan, a 22-year-old university student balancing coursework, a part-time job at a local cafe, and a relationship with Emma, the girl I'd been seeing for over a year. Life felt predictable, safe, until that fateful day when my cousin, Lila, decided to make things interesting. Lila had always been bold, confident, and mischievous. Where I was careful and reserved, she thrived on chaos and control. Our family gatherings were always a battlefield of teasing, laughter, and tiny power plays, but this time, she had crossed a line I didn't even know existed. It started innocently enough. We were lounging in her bedroom after a family barbecue, sipping soda and scrolling through our phones. Lila smirked, a glint of mischief in her eyes. "Hey, Ryan," she said, leaning back on her bed, legs crossed gracefully. "I bet you can't spend an entire weekend living like me. You know, embracing a more feminine lifestyle. Skirts, makeup, the works. Think you can handle it?" I laughed nervously. "Come on, Lila. That's ridiculous. I mean, skirts? Makeup? You're insane." But Lila's grin only widened. "Oh, I'm serious. If you win, I'll do anything you want for a week. But if you lose, well, let's just say I have some very creative punishments in mind. And Ryan," she leaned closer, voice dropping to a teasing whisper, "I think you might secretly enjoy it." My stomach tightened. Her words sent a mix of panic and unexpected excitement through me. The idea of crossdressing had always lingered in my mind, a forbidden curiosity I had never dared explore openly. I had experimented alone, hidden behind locked doors, but never in front of anyone, and certainly never as a challenge like this. I don't know," I stammered, trying to mask my curiosity with resistance. "I mean, it's just a bet. And I'm not really." My words trailed off as Lila raised an eyebrow, a mischievous sparkle daring me to back down. "You'll regret saying no," she teased, standing up and circling me like a predator assessing its prey. "You've got until Friday to decide. But trust me, you want to try." And just like that, the seed was planted. Over the next few days, I found myself thinking about it constantly. The idea of wearing skirts, high heels, subtle makeup, it was intoxicating. And terrifying. My relationship with Emma added another layer of complication. She was sweet, supportive, and had always been open-minded, but I couldn't imagine telling her about this, not yet. The weekend arrived, and I reluctantly agreed to Lila's terms. She clapped her hands in delight, eyes gleaming with anticipation. "Perfect. Let's start small," she said, dragging me toward her wardrobe. The array of clothes, shoes, and accessories made my pulse race. Delicate skirts in soft pastels, blouses with intricate lace, high heels that seemed impossibly tall, every piece seemed designed to challenge me, to transform me. I swallowed hard, trying to steady my nerves. Lila handed me a simple skirt and a fitted blouse. "Start here," she instructed. "You'll get used to it. And remember, it's about more than clothes, it's about attitude, posture, the way you carry yourself. If you want to survive the weekend, you have to embrace it fully." As I dressed, I felt a wave of vulnerability wash over me. The skirt hugged my hips differently than I expected, the blouse soft against my skin, and the high heels, oh, the heels. My legs shook as I attempted my first few steps. Lila's laughter was light but approving. Not bad at all," she said. "You're going to be a good little pet." That title, pet, sent a shiver through me. There was a strange thrill in the word, in the dynamic it implied. Lila wasn't just my cousin anymore. She had become the orchestrator of my transformation, the one controlling this new, delicate version of me. By the time Emma called later that evening, I was nervously pacing Lila's room in heels, skirt swaying with each step, hair styled carefully at Lila's insistence. I tried to act casual during the call, but my voice betrayed me slightly, lighter than usual, hesitant. Emma laughed at the subtle difference. "Everything okay, babe? You sound different." I froze, my mind racing. Could I tell her the truth? No, not yet. I had already taken the first step, and the thrill of this dual life was just beginning. "Yeah, just tired," I said, forcing a smile into my voice. After the call ended, Lila's grin returned.
See?
You're already learning. By tomorrow, you'll be completely in character. And remember, the bet isn't just about clothes. It's about how well you can become me, your feminine pet. I looked at my reflection in her mirror, seeing a tentative, almost alien version of myself staring back. Yet beneath the nerves, a spark of excitement flickered. I had crossed a threshold I could never uncross. The weekend ahead promised transformation, tension, and discovery. And somehow, I couldn't wait to see how far I could go. Little did I know, the bet would push me further than I ever imagined, emotionally, physically, and psychologically. By the end of the weekend, I wouldn't just be a crossdresser trying out a new identity. I would be Lila's creation, her pet, and entirely changed in ways I couldn't yet comprehend. The first night ended with Lila tucking me into one of her oversized sweaters, soft, comforting, and humiliatingly feminine, and whispering, "Sleep well, pet. Tomorrow, the real fun begins." As I lay there, heart racing, I realized that this bet was no longer just a game. It was a journey into a part of myself I had never dared explore, guided by a cousin who had effortlessly taken control, and I was powerless to resist. The morning sun streamed through the half-open blinds, casting golden stripes across Lila's room. I blinked awake, still wrapped in the oversized sweater she had insisted I wear to bed. My body felt unfamiliar, soft, delicate, and aware of every inch of fabric against my skin. Even lying there, I could feel the gentle sway of my skirt from last night, the heels neatly placed beside the bed, a silent reminder of the challenge awaiting me. Lila was already up, moving around the room with effortless grace. She hummed softly as she arranged shoes, accessories, and makeup on her dresser. The sight made my stomach twist with a mix of fear and anticipation. She turned to me with a sly grin. "Good morning, pet," she said, voice teasing yet commanding. "Ready to begin day 2? I swallowed hard, nodding. I think so." My voice sounded lighter than usual, betraying the nervous excitement coursing through me. "Good. Today, we're raising the stakes," Lila declared. "It's not just about looking feminine. You'll learn to live it. Attitude, posture, every movement. Follow me." I stepped carefully onto the heels she handed me, wobbling slightly as I adjusted. Every step felt like a negotiation with gravity, my legs trembling under the unfamiliar height. Lila's eyes glimmered with amusement. "Confidence, Ryan. You're not just wearing these. You are these. Every sway, every step tells a story." Her words sent a thrill through me. I had never felt this exposed, this visible in a way that wasn't just about my physical body. There was power and submission in allowing her to guide me, to shape my movements, my expressions, even my thoughts. We spent the morning in the bedroom, Lila demonstrating proper posture, graceful walks, and subtle gestures that defined her feminine persona. I mimicked her hesitantly at first, then gradually, with more confidence. She adjusted my shoulders, my back, my hands, whispering instructions and corrections. Each touch sent shivers through me, a mix of embarrassment and excitement that I struggled to contain. By mid-morning, she presented the first true challenge, makeup. A delicate palette of eyeshadows, blushes, and lipsticks lay before me. "Your face is the canvas," she said, handing me a brush. "The more you commit, the more convincing you'll be.
Don't hold back."
I hesitated, staring at the array of colors. The idea of painting my face, highlighting my features in a way I had never dared before, made my heart race. But Lila's encouraging gaze, paired with the thrill of the bet, pushed me forward. Slowly, I applied blush, dabbing carefully, then moving to the eyeshadow, trying to mirror the techniques she had shown. My hands shook, but each stroke drew me deeper into the persona she was sculpting. When I finished, I looked into the mirror. The reflection staring back was undeniably feminine, a softer version of myself, delicate yet unfamiliar. I touched my cheek, marveling at the transformation and the vulnerability it exposed. Lila clapped softly. "Beautiful. You're learning quickly. By tonight, you might even fool someone who doesn't know better." The afternoon brought new challenges. Lila had arranged a series of tasks around the apartment to test my composure, poise, and adaptability. Carrying a tray of snacks to the living room without spilling, navigating narrow hallways in heels, even answering the phone in a demure, polite tone, every action was scrutinized. I stumbled at times, my nerves getting the better of me, but each correction from Lila sharpened my awareness and honed my movements. Internal conflict simmered beneath the surface. A part of me reveled in the attention, the submission, and the thrill of transformation. Another part, however, burned with anxiety. What would Emma think if she discovered this side of me? Could I maintain this delicate balance, live as someone else for the duration of the bet, without shattering my own identity? The questions gnawed at me, yet the excitement of the challenge kept me tethered. By late afternoon, Lila introduced the most intense aspect of the bet yet, a social test. She called a close friend over, someone who had never seen me cross-dressed. "Time to see if you can embody your feminine persona outside of our practice," Lila said. I felt my stomach clench as the doorbell rang. My reflection in the mirror seemed to whisper warnings and promises simultaneously. I adjusted my wig nervously, smoothed my skirt, and practiced a confident smile. The door opened, and her friend entered, looking surprised but polite. I forced my posture, lifted my chin, and greeted her with a delicate, feminine voice. The encounter was brief, but each word, each gesture, was a test. I stumbled at first, my voice wavering, but gradually, I found a rhythm. Lila's approving nods from the corner fueled my confidence. By the time her friend left, I felt a strange mixture of pride and exhaustion. I had navigated my first real-world challenge successfully, but the stakes had only grown higher. Evening approached, and Lila had one final trial for the day, a reflective exercise. She made me sit before her full-length mirror, fully dressed and made up, and study my reflection. "Look at yourself," she instructed softly. "See the pet, the feminine persona, the version of yourself that is learning, evolving, and obeying." I stared at the reflection, seeing the delicate curves, the carefully styled hair, the subtle makeup enhancing my features. And yet, I also saw myself, the nervous, conflicted young man beneath it all. The duality of my existence became starkly clear. This bet wasn't just about clothes or appearances. It was about surrender, exploration, and discovery. I feel exposed," I admitted, voice barely above a whisper. Lila smiled warmly, brushing a strand of hair from my face. "Good. That's part of it. Vulnerability is strength. The more you embrace it, the more control you'll gain over yourself and over this challenge." As the night fell, I lay in Lila's room, heels set aside, makeup removed, but the sensation of transformation lingering like an electric current across my skin. I realized that this weekend was changing me in ways I hadn't anticipated. The thrill, the fear, the submission, it all intertwined, shaping a version of myself that was entirely new and intoxicating. And I knew, deep down, that the bet had only just begun. The next morning, a sense of dread and excitement coiled in my stomach. Last night's reflection in the mirror still lingered in my mind, the delicate figure staring back at me, the subtle but undeniable transformation. Lila's words echoed. The bet has only begun. Tonight, you live it fully. Lila had planned the ultimate test. We were to attend a small gathering at a nearby cafe, one of her acquaintances, a group of people who had never seen me cross-dressed. The goal was simple but terrifying. I had to navigate the social setting entirely in my feminine persona, maintaining composure, confidence, and the delicate balance between curiosity and authenticity. She handed me the outfit she had chosen. A fitted dress that accentuated curves I hadn't known I possessed, a pair of heels that felt impossibly high, and a carefully styled wig. My hands trembled as I slipped into the dress, feeling the fabric cling to my body. Lila's eyes softened as she adjusted the wig, brushing my hair gently behind my shoulders. "Remember, pet," she whispered, "confidence isn't just in your posture. It's in your mind. Own it." The first few steps out of her room were tentative. Every click of the heels against the floor echoed like a countdown in my ears. Lila's hand rested lightly on my back, guiding me, reminding me that each step, each sway, was part of the challenge. My reflection in the hallway mirror caught my attention. I looked like someone else entirely, yet beneath the surface, I felt every ounce of vulnerability and fear. At the cafe, the air buzzed with chatter and laughter. I felt the eyes of strangers brush against me, assessing, curious, oblivious to the secret I carried beneath my carefully crafted appearance. Lila led the way, introducing me with a mischievous smile, and I forced myself to respond in the soft, feminine voice I had practiced. My lips trembled slightly, but the thrill of successfully speaking without breaking character sent a surge of exhilaration through me. Hours passed in a haze of small talk, laughter, and delicate gestures. I carried drinks, adjusted my posture, smiled at compliments, and responded to questions, all while keeping my internal panic at bay. But the true suspense came when Lila's friend leaned in, whispering something that made my stomach twist. "You're convincing, but I feel like you're hiding something." Panic rose like a tide. Could she see through me? Was I about to be exposed? My heartbeat raced, and every instinct screamed to retreat, to change back into my normal self. Lila, sensing my anxiety, brushed my arm reassuringly. "Trust yourself. You've learned more in the past 2 days than you realize." The evening's tension escalated when Emma, my girlfriend, unexpectedly appeared. My blood ran cold. She had no idea about this bet, this experiment, this world I had stepped into. Every muscle in my body froze as her gaze swept over the room, and then, surprisingly, lingered on me. "Ryan," she called softly, her tone curious but calm. My mind raced. I had to respond without betraying myself. I straightened my back, forced a smile, and spoke in the practiced feminine tone. "Yes, Emma." "Hi." She tilted her head, studying me intently. "You look different." "Just trying something new," I managed, my voice shaking slightly. Emma's expression softened. She didn't question further, but the fear of discovery gnawed at me. Every laugh, every glance from the surrounding guests, every subtle gesture was a potential trap. Could I maintain this dual identity without unraveling completely? The night spiraled into a series of escalating challenges. A spilled drink, a stifled laugh, a misstep in my heels. Each incident sent shivers of fear through me. Lila guided me through them with whispers, gentle touches, and corrections, her presence both a comfort and a reminder of the stakes. I realized that the bet wasn't just about appearances, it was about trust, vulnerability, and the willingness to surrender control. At one point, a symbolic moment crystallized the tension. While reaching for a napkin on a high shelf, my wig slipped slightly, revealing a strand of hair that didn't belong. Time seemed to freeze. I froze in place, breath caught in my throat, waiting for someone to notice. Lila's hand shot out, steadying the wig, and whispered urgently, "Stay calm. No one sees it but me." The adrenaline surge was unlike anything I had felt. Heart pounding, cheeks flushed, body trembling from the combined fear and thrill, I realized how deeply this experience had changed me. I was no longer just playing a role. I was inhabiting it, exploring the boundaries of who I could be, and discovering a strength in vulnerability I had never known. By the time we returned home, exhaustion weighed heavily on my body. I collapsed onto the bed, heels kicked off, dress rumpled but still clinging, makeup smudged from hours of social navigation. Lila stood by the mirror, a proud, almost maternal smile on her face. "You survived. More than that, you thrived." But the climax didn't end there. As I drifted into a restless sleep, a soft ping from my phone jolted me awake. A message from Emma. "We need to talk. Are you ready?" My blood ran cold. The secret I had been guarding so fiercely was now on the verge of exposure. The thrill, the fear, the submission, all converged in a pulse of panic and anticipation. I didn't know if I would survive the conversation, maintain the persona, or lose myself entirely in the web of transformation and suspense. The morning after the cafe ordeal, the house was quiet, almost too quiet. I sat on the edge of my bed, still in the dress Lila had chosen, heels kicked aside, makeup smudged from hours of careful balancing between composure and chaos. My reflection in the mirror felt unfamiliar, half Ryan, half the feminine persona I had spent the past 2 days inhabiting. I could still feel Lila's guiding hand on my back, still hear her whispers. Trust yourself. Own it.
My phone buzzed again.
Another message from Emma. We need to talk. Now. Panic and exhilaration surged simultaneously. My fingers hovered over the screen, hesitant to respond. If I replied, would I maintain my secret, or would everything unravel? The very thought made my heart pound. Lila's voice broke the silence. She appeared in the doorway, dressed casually, but her gaze was sharp and knowing. She's suspicious, she said softly, almost a warning. You have to decide, are you ready to show her the feminine side she hasn't seen, or do you hide again? I swallowed hard. The weight of the bet, of my double life, pressed down on me. I felt exposed, vulnerable, yet alive in a way I never had before. Every instinct screamed to run, to change back, to be normal. But another part of me, the part Lila had nurtured, urged me to embrace this persona, to face Emma fully, even if it meant risking rejection. I walked to the living room, each step a careful negotiation with my heels, my body tense with anticipation. Emma was there, sitting on the couch, arms crossed, eyes narrowed, but filled with curiosity. Ryan, or whoever this is, she said slowly, voice calm but probing. I saw you yesterday.
And today.
What's going on? I froze, every nerve on fire. The moment was thick with suspense, the air electric. My mind raced for explanations, excuses, truths twisted just enough to protect my secret. Lila's words echoed in my head. Confidence isn't in your posture, it's in your mind. I tried to speak, but the feminine voice trembled. Emma's eyes softened slightly, a flicker of concern passing through them. I don't understand. Are you trying to be someone else? Before I could answer, a sharp knock came at the door. My heart jumped into my throat. Lila froze beside me, eyes wide. The knock repeated, louder this time, insistent. Who? Emma asked, standing. I swallowed hard. Whoever it was, they had the potential to unravel everything. The bet, my secret, my newfound persona. I glanced at Lila. She nodded almost imperceptibly, a silent signal that this was part of the game, part of the challenge. I moved toward the door, each step measured, heels clicking like a ticking clock counting down my options. Opening it, I found nothing. Just a plain envelope lying on the welcome mat. I picked it up with shaking hands. Inside, a single note in unfamiliar handwriting. I know what you're hiding. Be ready. A chill ran down my spine. My secret, the bet, my double life, all teetered on the edge of exposure. Emma looked at me, a mixture of curiosity and fear in her eyes. I clutched the note, my mind racing, knowing that the next moments could change everything. Lila stepped closer, whispering urgently, Your choice now matters more than ever. Do you run, or do you embrace it? I felt my pulse thundering, my reflection in Emma's eyes a mirror of my uncertainty. Could I reveal myself fully? Could I maintain the feminine persona I had spent so long cultivating? Or would the shock, the fear, and the suspense overwhelm me, forcing me back into the shadows? The envelope trembled in my hands, my legs shaking under the heels I still wore. Emma's gaze held me captive, Lila's presence pressed against me, and outside the door, the world seemed to hold its breath. I took a deep breath, knowing that whatever decision I made next would define the next chapter of this bet, this life, this transformation. The suspense was unbearable, the thrill intoxicating, the fear paralyzing. And then the screen fades. The audience is left with questions burning in their minds. Will Ryan reveal his secret to Emma? Who sent the mysterious note, and how much do they know? Can he maintain his feminine persona under this new pressure, Or will everything collapse? How far will the bet push him, and what will the consequences be? The story hangs in the balance, unresolved, a cliffhanger designed to make every viewer desperate for the next episode.